How's it going, everyone? It is Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. Let's get into the picks from the last video. So we have a few things that we are swinging here. I gave Kupang as a swing long. There's Kupang today. Stock was flat yesterday. Poked back up a little bit, got over here, and then got slapped down a little bit lower. So Kupang still kind of in between these levels here. Not a ton of room. So if you took it somewhere here, 23.42 when the video came out, had maybe a bit of a chance to get through here, but honestly, it's probably a stock that I would not have exited at the time. So still looks decent, but I would like to see it close above this level today, or I'm going to get out of the trade. Okay, other positions we are in right now. We have ALB as a swing short. This stock has seen some sector rotation. We have MRK. We have Qualcomm. We have WFC. And we have WBA. So out of the 5 shorts that we are swinging, I think 3 of them look very good. WBA looks good. MRK also looks pretty good. And then Qualcomm looks pretty decent. Back over here. So not really rallying with the market here. It is above some of the SMAs, but pretty weak. Or just one SMA, I should say, as well. So couple first things on the housekeeping note. I am going to be on vacation starting tomorrow for the rest of the month. So I have some of these swings. I may be closing some of them out today because I don't want to monitor them. I may potentially even close all of them out because I just kind of want to, not have to worry about them while I am on vacation. But I also may keep the ones that are performing and cut the ones that are not performing. So that's kind of my game plan here. If you're not on vacation, obviously you can do what you need to do. But I gave these stocks enough time. I got the market wrong. They may still come down over here if we get a pullback, but it kind of remains to be seen on, how deep. If we pause here, if it's a small pullback, one that might happen. And if I'm not on the screen, if I'm not able to reach the screen at certain days and I can't make those decisions, at least on a daily basis, then I don't feel comfortable, taking some of those positions. So that's kind of the housekeeping note. I am still going to try to get my July trades recap. It's been a little bit late. August has been a busy month, but that's still on my to-do list. All right, so let's take a look at the market over here. Not much has changed since yesterday. Still fundamentally, I think I'm still mildly bullish. I still think the soft landing is in play. Inflation's coming down. The interest rate hikes are going to start fairly soon. If not this meeting, the next meeting, although there's a very high probability of it starting this upcoming meeting. We're going to see what happens at Jackson Hole and whether Powell says some other important information that has us revise those probabilities. On the technical side here, we've seen a big move down. We've seen a tall bounce up, although it has had some lighter volume. So I mentioned last week that I was not really as bearish as I was going here. I prefer to see this downward sloping trend line hold and the 50-day SMA hold. So this August 15th candle was a bit of a nail in the coffin. So I am still mildly bearish, still considering that we are potentially making a higher low, but we have to see whether we actually get that leg down in the next coming days or so. I'm adopting Pete's strategy here. I need to see the 50-day SMA breached this week, or I'm out. So I like that. I like that approach. It gives a degree of urgency. We need to see sellers just absolutely waiting to pound these asks when the price comes up to a certain degree. Just the price action the way up to is also very bullish, right? Lots of green days here. Lots and lots of green days. Very few red days with the exception of that August 7th day. So what does that tell us? That tells us that buyers have been buyers have been more aggressive and sellers have been very, very passive, right? There hasn't even been mixed red candles here, and that tells us that there is some decent buying conviction. So if we don't get that break in the 50-day SMA this week, I'm going to shift to pretty neutral bias. I don't want to be in a lot of swing longs. I'm just going to kind of play it on both sides and probably take short-term swings in either direction. That's kind of my thinking. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Now, on an intraday basis, I've talked about a couple of times how we had a gap up and go. We have a bid check fairly early in the day, and then the market manages to rally higher. Today was an interesting day. The first time we've seen any modicum of selling pressure. Flat open, market comes up. It actually tests, this is a gap right here from 519. Test this gap. Excuse me. Test this gap. We reject off it. And now we're just kind of doing nothing for the rest of the day. This has become pretty LPTE, mixed overlapping candles, low volume, bit of a dead day. So, excuse me again. That tells us that buyers are coming in today. And they are stopping at least the selling pressure for the time being. Now, if we crack through this level here and the sellers manage to get control, we could trigger quite a few sell stops. So I think that is kind of the level to watch for here, around 558. Buyers are giving some support here, and we've just been chopping back and forth, not really going anywhere. So what do you do for today? Well, I think in this is sort of a day where I want to be passive. I want to get into relatively weak stocks or relatively strong stocks on, maybe some pullbacks, or identify some very strong trends. Pan W was a nice win I took earlier today. Took a small win on Val earlier. One of my favorite shorts is going to be AI. So not really any bounce with the market. Rejected below this 100-day SMA through its 8 and 15 SMA, or EMAs, I should say. And this stock has just been pretty much steadily grinding lower and lower and lower the whole day. VLO, nice one as well. Let's take a look at this stock. Oh, yeah. So that's been pretty flat, although it's hitting right up against this low plus trend line. Not crazy about that. I have an alert set on Pan W, so when it breaks through this compression high, I may take another trade on that. So I think the pick that I like the most today will probably be something like EL as a day trade short. So that's how to give a pick. I'm going to try to evaluate it when I get back, although there are no promises on that front. So EL has found a little bit of buying here. It's made a big move. I think once it gets that next leg lower, when it begins the next leg lower, maybe breaks through this low plus trend line, that could be a very nice entry point. On the long side, there's a couple of decent options. I mentioned Pan W earlier today. I like it if it can break through that high of the day. Just open it up here, right? So we made a nice move earlier today. It's kind of compressing a little bit, but it is forming some higher lows. So I think we have a little bit of an ascending triangle here. So I think Pan W has some room to break to the upside. Just going to depend on what the market is doing over here. PayPal is another decent one, although has not the best price action. Had a strong move in the open, sold off here, and now it's coming back up. Has a really nice breakout here. It's gone a little bit parabolic, but it's actually broken through this lot of horizontal resistance here, which is a pretty strong sign. Walmart is decent, but there is target earnings tomorrow, so that's why I'm passing on that trade. But otherwise, would not be a bad setup. FTNT, I think we called that out a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a couple of days ago. Sorry. The stock has been steadily grinding up since earnings. I think we originally called it out here. It didn't end up taking the trade, but you see how the stock has moved higher in that time frame. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with AI on the short side as a day trade, and then Pan W on the long side as a day trade. Those are going to be my two picks for today. Okay, so what do we do about our swings here? So we're still in Nike. Nike's doing okay. I'm still fine holding that guy. What I am going to do is I'm going to cut my losers today. So unless the market has a massive red day where it really sells off, I'm going to cut ALB. So we're going to cut ALB. And we are going to cut Wells Fargo. We're going to cut Wells Fargo. It has not produced here. I mean, it may hit a little bit of resistance, but the stock has been not as strong as I would have liked, not as weak as I would have liked it to be. So I'm going to cut these for the simple fact that I'm going on vacation. If you still feel confident in holding through some of these, then be my guest, hold through that. But that's my plan here on those picks. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you all when I get back in September.